Yo, what is up, brothers? What is up? It's your dude, International Passport, here again for a future classic live stream. Uh, First and foremost, press A1 in the live stream chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Baba Tunde, is my audio good, bro?
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you, brother. So my guest can hear me. I gotta make sure that you brothers can hear me watching on live right now. Am I good? Is it good? Awesome. Ozzy in the building. What's up, Ozzy? Can I get a couple more ones, please? We've got 7 people watching so far. Give me a couple more ones, please. That'd be greatly appreciated. Who is here? Who is here? If you're watching on Twitter, press a 1 2. If you're on Twitter watching right now, press a 1 on the Twitter feed. All right. Is the audio good, man? Press a 1, please. I gotta make sure that is good and there's no issues at the moment. Press a 1 in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear, please. We got over 10 people watching. Just type a 1 or not. If there's problems, let me know, please. Brav, why y'all so slow of the 1, man? If there's a problem, let me know. If there's no problem, type a 1, bro. It's simple. Thank you, Annie Travel, Samuel, Hayden. Thank you very much, man. That was simple. So, brothers, welcome to a future classic live stream. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to those that have supported the channel over the past couple of years. Your support is greatly appreciated. Welcome aboard the new people. I accept and I embrace you with open arms. When you come on the live stream today, obviously, please support, hit the super chat, hit the PayPal donations, join the Patreon, book your IT consultations, cut the merch, show any support you can. That'd be greatly appreciated. As you can see, there's a Rumble link pinned at the live stream channel. Click on there and subscribe to my Rumble page. Okay, I'll be posting on Rumble, going live on Rumble, so please support my Kick, Rumble, and Twitch platforms. Okay, I'll be doing some interesting streams there in the future. Okay, so let's get straight into it. Right, as you can see in the title, okay, thick black woman everywhere. Passport bros break down women in Kenya, Ghana, and Uganda, and life there too. I've got a very special guest here with me today called Mr. Babatunde. How you doing, Babatunde? You good, bro?
I'm good, bro. IP, and yourself?
I'm doing fantastic, Babatunde. Thank you so very much, brother. So, Mr. Babatunde, come, bro.
Yeah, first of all, IP, I just wanna, big you up. Like you're the most hardworking YouTuber that I know. Like you're constantly streaming, giving brothers like game, teaching brothers Python, and encouraging brothers to get out of the matrix. I just want to say thank you for all that you're doing for the community, and big up.
Salute, man. Thank you very much, Babatunde, man. Those words mean a lot to me, brother. Much appreciated, bro. So, Mr. Babatunde, do you mind giving us a brief intro about who you are, where you're from, and anything interesting about you, bro?
Yes, I'm originally from the continent of Africa, Nigeria to be specific. I've been living here in Australia for the past 10 years. Um, you know, I'm currently taking a course in cybersecurity. I'm also taking IP's Python class. I'll be done with the cybersecurity course in the next couple of months, which is good. And I'm just trying to get that, trying to live that passport life, bro. Trying to live the life of the passport, bro. Working remotely overseas and meeting that dream woman. So yeah, that's a little info about myself.
Amazing, amazing, brother. So, let's get straight into it, brother. We got 3 countries to break down today: Ghana, Uganda, and Kenya. So I said, brother, my first question to you is actually two questions in one, brother. What cities were you in each country, and why did you go to those countries in the first place? Let's start with that, bro.
Okay, so I'll start with Ghana. So I was in Ghana 2019. So I was actually going home, to Nigeria at the time. for like a holiday. So I came across YouTube. What was that concept called? Afro Nation. And I was like, okay. I think the first one was done the same year, but it was done in Portugal, right? And I could see that the one in Portugal was a vibe. I was like, oh, okay, the same thing is going to happen in Ghana. And I've never been to Ghana before. So I spoke to my friend and we're like, bought ticket and we're like, when we get to Nigeria, we'll fly to Ghana, which is really close. And yeah, so that was what took me to Ghana in the first place.
Awesome, brother. What about for Uganda and Kenya cities and why you went there in the first place?
Okay, so Uganda and Kenya, I was literally doing a tour, an East African tour last year. So I was actually looking for places outside of Australia, especially in Africa, that I could invest in. And obviously, I just was going for holiday because um, we had just got out of lockdown for, at that period. So yeah, and so that was the main reason why I did the tour. I was in Kampala in Uganda, and in Kenya I was in Mombasa and Nairobi.
Oh, amazing. It's gonna be a classic. This is gonna be a
Yeah.
classic. So, brother, obviously we're gonna break down women from each nation's separately during later on. But I want to know overall about each country, brother, because Africa, of course, is at our crosshairs. So, my first question to you, brother, is in regards to accommodation. So, how about we start with Ghana first? So, accommodation wise, were you in Airbnb? Were you in a hotel? And how was the whole experience there? And how much did it cost you per day, if you remember?
Oh man, it was really annoying when I my time in Ghana, especially with accommodation, because what had happened was that I had paid for an Airbnb, my friend and I, which was decent. It was a decent price at the time. But by the time we got there, the Airbnb had been given to someone else, you know? And we're like, because we didn't get it on time, because I don't know, the airline that we booked didn't kept canceling flights from Nigeria. So by the time we got to Ghana, it was pretty late. So that wasn't a very good experience for me, though, the Airbnb. But I would say that Ghana is quite expensive. So I would suggest that the prices you would get in either Kenya or Uganda for an Airbnb, you probably get, you pay more in Ghana. That's for sure.
Interesting there. Let me ask this then, brother, right? In terms of the whole experience there, right? The Airbnb, was it top notch? Was it clean? You know, what was your experience
So
there?
like I said, I didn't get to stay in the Airbnb. So I stayed in a hotel,
How was the
and
hotel?
the hotel wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't what I had paid for because we had paid for like an apartment with two rooms. We ended up staying in a hotel with two beds, and so it wasn't a really good experience for me at the time. But I would say the hotel was decent, it was clean, the staff were friendly, we had good food, they took care of us, so that was good. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Now, what about accommodation for Uganda and Kenya, brother?
I think I had better experiences in those countries. So in Kenya, so I flew from Ethiopia to Nairobi, and then I don't know, for some reason there wasn't a direct flight from Addis Ababa to Mombasa. So we had a stopover at Nairobi for like an hour. Then we flew to Mombasa. Then at Mombasa, I stayed at a hotel. I think the hotel was called Blue Creek. Blue Creek. Really nice hotel. It was just by the lake. No, not by the lake, by the lagoon. Sea view, nice hotel, pool. It was decent. Yeah. And in Uganda, I stayed at a hotel as well. So in Kenya, I stayed in a hotel when I was in Mombasa. When I went to Nairobi, I stayed at an Airbnb. The Airbnb was pretty decent as well. Bit pricey, I think, but it was good. It was good. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, brother. So next question for you now, brother, is in terms of who runs the country of Ghana, Uganda, and Kenya? So when you were there, from your observations, right, are black people, particularly black men, running Ghana, Kenya, and Uganda, or is it the Chinese? Is it the Western white people? Some sort of shadowy forces? What did you see out there? What did you hear, bro?
I don't think so. I think the locals do run the countries. Um, Obviously, if you're a foreigner with means, you'll be treated a certain way. But the locals, the local population, do run the country, each of those countries that I mentioned.
So you're saying that black men have the power there in those countries.
Absolutely, yeah, they do. They do. If you're in politics, if you're doing well, if you're in government, you definitely have more power than any foreigner would in those countries. So black men do run those countries. Yeah.
Good to hear. Good to hear. So now, how are Western black men treated, brother, in Ghana, Uganda, and Kenya? Like, are we respected? Was there any animosity towards you? How were you treated there as a Western black man, there, brother, in terms of respect and treatment overall?
Okay, so I am from the diaspora, but I'm also African, you see. So my communication with the people in those countries, I would say might be a bit different from someone like you or from an African American. But I will still say that I'm still a foreigner regardless. And they could tell that I'm from the West, right? So it was pretty pleasant. I didn't have any troubles either in any of those countries, in Ghana, Uganda, or in Kenya. I remember there was a time in Uganda where I was in a car. I was in a cab, right, an Uber, and this Ugandan guy was like, he kept speaking in, I think they speak Kiganda or something like that. And I asked the driver, what did he say? And it was like, oh, he said you look like a rich guy, like someone from overseas or something. So they can definitely tell, that I'm from, from the diaspora. So if you're Black British or African American, even if you don't look a certain way, I think you would. But yeah, they could tell that you're from the diaspora, and trust me, there's no animosity towards you in any way.
Awesome, incredible, incredible, brother. So now, brother, in terms of investment, so business, right? You know, investing in a country, doing business there in those countries, right? From your observations, was there any sort of business opportunities to do in those countries, bro?
Absolutely, I would say Kenya more than any of those countries. I would say Uganda as well because Uganda is quite cheap. It's quite cheap to live in Uganda. I think the business environment there is quite friendly as well. I would then maybe say maybe Kenya, but I would choose Kenya over Uganda. It's just because Kenya has better infrastructure. So I would say, real estate is quite good in Kenya and Uganda. And one of the reason I would say real estate is good in Kenya is because, especially the city of Nairobi, it's like it's a decent city. Good infrastructure. There are a lot of tourists there. There are a lot of foreign. I remember the Airbnb that I stayed in. I saw so many people. I saw people from like Chinese. I saw like America. So I would say real estate is it's good in Kenya, in any of those countries, but I would say Kenya over Uganda, and I'll put Ghana at the bottom. But I just feel like Ghana is very expensive for no reason. I don't know why. But I'll say real estate. I would say in Kenya, I would say retail as well. Kenya's got a very good retail market, retail scene. I like Kenya. Kenya is decent. So I would say real estate, uh, you know, retail, and perhaps IT. Yeah,
Amazing. If you have any questions, send your questions in the super chat or PayPal. So, brother, now the Chinese, right? How about we talk about the Chinese and foreign forces there in Africa? So, there's been some sort of news in the past couple of years that Chinese controls Africa, they're controlling Kenya, Uganda, they control, Ghana or Arabs do. When you were there, brother, right? How where do the Chinese and foreigners stand in the power hierarchy, brother? You know, Are they truly bossing things around? Are they truly, mistreating black people there in their own country, the Chinese people?
To be honest, from and I stayed in like really privileged areas in each of those countries, right? I didn't really see any Chinese dominance in any of the cities that I mentioned. They are there, but maybe they're dealing mostly with government or people, business people. But I didn't really see. I did see Chinese in all of those countries that I mentioned, but I really didn't see them maltreating any of the locals. That I can tell you. However, what I noticed that in both Uganda and Kenya, I did see, they had like populations of Arabs and Indians, especially in Kenya. So I remember when I got to Mombasa the very first night, and I was in the cab. While the cab was taking me to the hotel, I looked up and I saw this giant signboard, like really big signboard, right? And I
Mm.
looked at the signboard, and who I saw was an Arab, and the guy was the governor of Mombasa. I
What?
was like, whoa! I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, the governor of Mombasa is Arab, and Mombasa plays a very key role in Kenya because it's a port city. So everything that comes in and out of Kenya goes through Mombasa. Now, guess who's the governor of Mombasa? An Arab. But historically, the Omani Arabs have played I've been in those part of Africa for a very long time. If you go to Tanzania, and Zanzibar, it's the same thing. So I remember when I was in Mombasa, I went for a lot of sightseeing. I went for tours, and I could see the imprints of the Omani Arabs in Mombasa. So you will see that if you go to Kenya, especially if you're in Mombasa, you'll see the presence of the Arabs. You'll see the presence of the Indians as well. But I think it's pretty good. I don't think I don't think there's any sort of discriminatory towards any of those people. I think if an Arab could be governor in Mombasa, the mind you, the locals, the black people of Mombasa are still the majority in those areas, and they have to vote. So yeah, that is definitely what I saw there. That was a bit surprising, especially
So,
in Kenya.
so, brother, so do the Arabs and the Indians respect black people in those countries, brother?
From what I saw, I didn't see like I wasn't there for that long. Maybe if I was there for like months or weeks, I would be able to actually analyze that. But from what I saw, I didn't see any sort of disrespect by the Arabs or the Indians. But what I can tell you is that they're definitely living better than the average Kenyan or native
Ah,
here.
and
Yeah,
brother,
that I can tell you.
that's so, brother. What do you mean that they live better? You tell me they live in bigger houses, do they have better cars? Is that what you're saying, bro?
I'll say on the average, yeah. I'll say on the average, yeah.
And that's what makes me angry, bruv. Because show me any black person in India or in an Arab country living better than the average Indian or the average Arab person. That'd be very, very rare. That's my point there, bruv. You know? That's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
point. It just annoys me, bruv. Like they can come into Africa or the Caribbean and become millionaires there and live, and be safe there and live great lives there. But the other day, right, I saw a black soccer player get attacked by a bunch of Indians on the football pitch, on the soccer pitch. Show me a video of that happening to a Kenyan or an Arab happening to them in Kenya. That's my
Where
point.
did
So
where
so
did it
here we are.
happen in India? Sorry to cut you
Yeah,
short down
it,
here.
it happened in India, bro, like a week
Oh
ago, two
yeah.
weeks ago. you know so so we out here, as black people being so kind to other groups of people, but they lock us out from wealth in their countries. That don't sit right with me, cuz goodness, man, flipping heck. So but let me ask this, right? So in terms of, like, obviously we'll get to the woman part, right? But did you see black men dating Chinese, Arab, and Indian women in those countries?
What I did notice in Mombasa is that there's a lot of mixed race people there as well. So I reckon there's quite a high interracial marriages or dating or whatnot in Mombasa because I saw a lot of you know Arab looking biracial people in those in Mombasa, especially Mombasa. Mombasa is very conservative. It's a Muslim dominated area. So you did see a lot of, women in hijabs and things like that. But I did see a lot of biracial looking and mixed people in Mombasa. So I'm guessing there's obviously interracial marriages going on there.
Okay, but did you see black men walking around with Indian, Arab, and Chinese women?
I didn't see, but I'm sure it goes down. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm sure it goes
i-
down. Yeah.
interesting, interesting. So next question for you, brother, is the people in Ghana, Kenya, and Uganda, brother. So breaking it down right, how are the people like overall? Are they kind? Are they arrogant? Are they extroverts, introverts? Break down the people personality, brother, for each country.
Okay, so I'll start with Ghana. In Ghana, people are way chilled than I would say in Nigeria. Yeah, yeah, Ghanaians are chilled people. They're laid back. I like Ghanaians. They're pretty chilled. For me, I just think the country is too expensive. That's one thing I don't like about Ghana. But the people are quite chilled. Obviously, if you're a foreigner, they will take advantage of you. I remember most of the cabs that I took while I was there, I was getting ripped off badly, badly. So there's always that thing. I think with most African countries, I don't know if it's the same thing in Caribbeans or I don't know. I think it's usually like that in developing countries. They would take advantage of you if they feel like you're a foreigner and if they feel like they can get away with it. That would happen. But in terms of how they relate to you, how they treat you, I didn't have any issues in any of those countries. So the people in Ghana are chilled, they're respectful. It's an African country. There's a lot of culture there, so they would treat you nicely. Uh, the same as well in Kenya, but I think Kenya's a bit more. I don't know, maybe a bit more arrogant though. I don't know. Maybe I think maybe because they just see a lot of foreigners there. I think I would say in those countries, I would say where I got the best treatment, maybe Uganda. Uganda, Kenya, followed by Ghana, and I'll say Kenya. Coming like on the list, but it was still decent. Like I didn't get any sort of maltreatment or anything while I was there.
Okay, awesome, brother. So next question for you, brother, is so how did you meet people and make friends there? And what's your advice for passport bros to make friends there in these countries and meet people and create a network?
Also, obviously, it depends on what you're going to do in those countries. So if you're going for a holiday, um, I could say you can meet people online, maybe dating apps or whatnot. You can also reach out to people through maybe LinkedIn. It depends on what you're going for. If you're going there for holiday, you can definitely meet people online. If you're going there for business, I would say maybe you work amongst the government agencies and whatnot. If you're going there to start a business, yeah. But if you're going there to just for holidays to see, you can definitely meet people online. You can meet people at the bars, lounges, places like that. I think those are the places where you can, definitely meet cool people. Um, yeah. So yeah, that's what I would say.
When you say online, are you referring to like dating apps or what do you mean by online?
Yeah, I would say dating apps. Like I said, it depends on what you're going there for. So if
Mm.
you're going there for a holiday, you could definitely meet people through dating apps. Maybe you can meet a chick that might take you around. I'm show you like places, like show you a good time, things like that. However, if you're going there for more serious stuff, I would say you can reach out to people on LinkedIn. You can perhaps go to like the government agencies and they can help you with like some information. You really, if you're going there for business, you want to be dealing directly with like government agencies rather than just random people that you see on the streets. But if you're going there for like a holiday, like I did, I would say you can reach out to people online or maybe at lounges or bars and yeah, what places you can use platforms like that.
Awesome, bro. So next question for you, brother, right? It's now in terms of transportation. So how were you moving around in each city or each country, and what's the best way to do so, brother? Train, subway, Uber, break it down for us, bro.
So in each of those countries, they all have the Uber apps. So in Ghana, I mostly moved around with Uber and cabs. Um, in Kenya, the same. The Ubers are really very. I like the Ubers in Kenya because they can't cancel on you. So if you call them, they just can't come and cancel. So they have to wait for you until hop in the car. So the Ubers were really nice in Kenya. And you don't know it's the same Uber everywhere, right? So it's the same in Uganda as well in Kampala. So I would say if you're a tourist or you're a visitor, Uber is your best shot. Uber works fine in each of those countries.
So, brother, no trains, no buses you use at all, just Uber?
I just use strictly Uber, yeah, yeah. Like I can afford it. And it was quite cheap because it was connected to my bank card here in Australia. So some trips I was, going for as low as 50 cents, 30
What?
cents. Yeah. Like if you do the conversion rate, like if you convert it to like their currency over there, because you get charged according to their currency, you see?
Mm.
So the money was taken from my bank card, but the conversion was done using their currency, so it was really low. So yeah, I enjoyed the Uber apps in Africa. Yeah, traveling around Africa using Uber is quite cheap.
Awesome, awesome, brother. So, brother, next question for you, brother, is now in terms of food. So break down food in each of those countries, brother. How's the food like,
Mm.
and what was your favorite cuisine in each country?
Ah, nice, sweet, 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 sweet. So I'm Nigerian, right? The
Mm.
food in Kenya is sorry, the food in Ghana is a bit close to what we eat in Nigeria. So you have, foods like kenke, like fish, like banku and things like that, which is really nice. So I really enjoyed the food, and you had jollof rice and stuff like that in Kenya. So I'm sorry, in Ghana. So I really enjoyed the food in Ghana, but Ghana food, I don't know. So Ghana is just expensive, man. Like even going to I remember there was this restaurant that I went to, and I paid. Then the conversion rate from $1 to Ghana cities was around 5 cities to $1. And I'm going to a restaurant to eat jollof rice for like 88 Ghanaian cedis, which is about 17 17 United States dollars. I'm like, whoa, this is expensive, man. So that is one thing that I did notice in Ghana, though. The Ghana is just for some reason very expensive. But the food was decent. It was close to what I'm used to. It was tasty. It was nice. So I would say Ghana comes first when it comes to food. In Uganda and Kenya, the foods were pretty close. In Kenya, I had mostly wayachoma. It's like roasted meat with like some sort of starchy, um, you know, side with it. So I don't think the food is a problem. Obviously, if you're eating local food, it's way cheaper than if you're eating like in fancy restaurants and whatnot. So the food is pretty decent in each of those countries, but I would say for food, I'll give Ghana the edge on that one.
How do you spell that Ghanaian food?
KK. So
Yeah, the
KK,
one.
I believe is King. I believe it's KEN, if I'm not mistaken. KK. Yeah.
Awesome. And brother, the food in Uganda and Kenya, there wasn't up your speed. Nothing, no favorite cuisines there.
For some I would say maybe the local food. I don't know. I don't think they have a lot of variety though. I know they have like wire choma, which is like meat, and they have what's that thing called? Um, I can't remember what it's like a maize sort of can't remember what it's called now, but they have wire choma and they have like beans and they eat like veggies. I wouldn't really, the food is decent, but I would say Kenya, I mean Ghana edges them when it comes to food. Yeah.
Okay, awesome, bro.
Yeah.
So, brother, next question for you right now is cost of living. So, when you compare Ghana to Australia, when you compare Uganda to Australia, when you compare Kenya to Australia, which is more expensive, which is cheaper, and tell us why, brother. Break it down for us.
I think if you've been listening to this stream since it started, I think you would know for sure which country is the most expensive in amongst those three. So I would say Ghana, I don't know why, but Ghana is pretty expensive. Like I don't know how the locals survive over there, but it is quite expensive to live in Ghana. Cost of living, accommodation, everything just seems pretty high in Ghana. So Ghana's quite expensive for an African country, I would say. It's even more expensive than Nigeria, which is weird, you know. I would say Kenya next. Um, not as expensive as Ghana, but you know, it's a bit more on the expensive side compared to for an African country, I would say. And I would say Uganda comes last on that list, which is the least most expensive, Uganda. So compared to Australia, definitely it's not as expensive as Australia, but it is quite expensive to live in Ghana. Kenya is not bad, but Uganda definitely is the most cheapest out of those three to stay.
Interesting. Why is Ghana so expensive? But so, but obviously, so when you compare Ghana to Australia, currency change and cost of living, you're saying Ghana is quite expensive. I wonder why, bro.
I don't,
That's
yeah,
hmm.
I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know.
Was it
You
sorry,
know,
but
mhm.
was it close to Australian cost of living?
I would say, yeah, I would say it is close to it, which is
What?
which is which is sick. And this was like 2019, eh? And it's funny because while I was in Ghana, there was this friend of ours that was in Ghana at the time. He was in Australia, but he went home to Nigeria. Then from Nigeria, he went to Ghana to stay. And his girlfriend at the time, who is a Caucasian lady from Australia, came to see him in Ghana. And she was complaining, man, because she was in Nigeria the previous year, right? And she came to Ghana the following year to see him. And she was complaining the whole time she was in Ghana. She was like, oh, this is expensive, blah, blah, blah. Like, nah, it is. I don't know why, but Ghana is quite expensive, man. And it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it's cheaper to live in Nigeria than to live in Ghana. And I don't know why. So, compared to Australia, it's not as expensive as Australia, definitely, but for an African country, it's pretty expensive. Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
Damn. Flipping heck. Whoa, okay, interesting. Interesting. So next question for you, brother, is now in terms of, let's say, racism, but more in terms of, let's say, sentiment against you because you're not native to that country, or maybe colorism. Was that something that you experienced there, bro?
I want to say racism. I would just say, obviously, if you're not from the country, then there's a chance that you might get finessed, you know. Um, yeah, I think I spoke about that earlier. So if you're not from the country, if you don't speak the local dialect or local language, if you go to like and in Africa there's a lot of places where you go to shop where it's not an actual, it's not like how you have it in like in the West where you have departmental stores where you can go in with fixed prices and all of that. You can just buy whatever and you leave and you pay the price tag on the product. In Ghana and in some African countries as well, that except you go to like a departmental store while you're there, a lot of the markets, a lot of the places there, you're taking a cab, the prices are not regulated, so you can get finessed in those places. But other than that, I don't think people would treat you in any way different, or racist. Yeah.
Yeah, brother, give me an example of how you got finesse, brother, in any of those countries, brother. And what tell us what happened.
Okay, so I give an example in Ghana. Like right from the jump, I got finesse. Like even with my accommodation, you know, and also just
What
taking,
happened?
sorry.
What they charge you more
No,
than
no,
what
no,
was
no,
originally advertised? Oh, gone.
no, no. It wasn't that they charged me more. Remember, I said that the guy had already given my room to someone else while we got when we got there,
Mm,
right? So we paid for room, like not a room, like an apartment on the Uber app. I'm sorry, on the Airbnb. And we finally got there, and even though we got there late, but we still got there. And it told us that the Airbnb had been given to someone else, and we were like, "What?" You know. But that aside, like just transportation, just moving around Ghana or Accra. If you're not using the Uber app, trust me, you will get finessed by the cab drivers. Or if you go to like the markets on your own, or you go to like places like, let's say, places like artifact markets or places like that. If you don't go with a local, you will get finessed once they know you're a foreigner. And it doesn't matter whether you're from America or you're from Africa or anywhere else, as long as you're not a local there, you will get finessed. Yeah, and it cuts across, major parts of Africa. So it doesn't really matter whether you're in Uganda or Ghana or Kenya. They do that in most I would say developing countries. Yeah,
so they'll jack the price up, huh? Without you even knowing.
absolutely. Yeah, they'll do that. Absolutely. So I would say
That
if you want to go to do stuff like that, maybe you want to go to the market, or you want to go to like, to get like, cultural stuff, anything that doesn't really involve a fixed price, I would say you need to go with a local, or else you will get finessed. Yeah.
wow. Thank you, bro, for the breakdown. So, next question for you now, brother, is now in terms of culture. So, when you break down Kenya, Uganda, and Ghana, are they conservative cultures? Are they liberal cultures, or is it a mixture of both? Did you see anything weird in their culture that was maybe growing there? Break it down for us, bro, for each country.
I would say it's a mixture of both. So it is South Africa, right? So it is conservative to an extent. Like in Ghana, Ghana is quite conservative. It's chilled, but there is major Western influence in all of those countries right now.
Hmm.
But I would say perhaps maybe more in Accra, Ghana, um, and in Kenya as well. But I don't know. There's this sudden love affair amongst African Americans and Ghana. So I think that also is pushing in a lot of like Western influence. It's pushing in a lot of um, I don't know. So I would say it is definitely conservative. Accra, Ghana, but I was in Accra anyway. But you could definitely see some Western influence in those countries or in Ghana at the moment. Yeah.
Interesting. Can I ask, brother, what kind of Western influence are you referring to?
So I don't know if you follow the news. Just recently, there was a bill that was passed in Ghana, right? And
Hmm.
the bill is I think it's a family. Um, I don't. Yeah, I think it's a family. So I can't remember what the name of the specific bill is. But amongst the sections of the bill, they have some sort of a anti-LGBT um, you know, um, clause or whatever,
Hmm.
and it was strictly, prohibiting LGBT, um, behavior in the bill in Ghana, and there were sanctions if you were caught in the act or whatnot. And I could see that a lot of the resistance against that bill was coming from the West, especially America, and by
Hmm.
Americans, mostly African Americans. So you could definitely see that there's I think because of that love affair that they're having with Ghana, they're also trying to force down, their way of life on the people there. You see?
Yo.
So
Mm.
so I could definitely see a lot of that Western influence growing in Ghana, you know. And for some reason, I was watching this guy, and he was actually talking, you know, in regards to that bill. And he was saying that the president wouldn't sign it, and he hasn't signed it. You see? Because
What?
it's definitely, yeah, I guess it's scared the sort of backlash that it will get from the West, you know. So that is definitely going on in Ghana at the moment. So I would say it is conservative, but you could definitely see Western influence growing in Ghana at the moment. Yeah.
So, brother, what about influence in Western influence in Kenya and Uganda? What did you see there, brother?
So in both Ghana, in both Kenya and Uganda, the LGBT rights is, I think Uganda passed a very stiff anti-LGBT bill. I'm not saying I'm against, you know, LGBT people. I'm not, but I'm just telling you that, you know, you could see that old Western, you know, ideology push in Africa. So some African countries are very against it, um, especially like Uganda. I think it was last year the president signed into law a very strict anti-LGBT law there in Uganda. So those things don't really fly in Uganda. I would say in Kenya as well, but I'm not sure if there's a bill or law that's against people that practice or members of the LGBT community, but there is a very strong resistance against such practice in those countries. Um, but I would say they're both conservative, especially you know, places like Mombasa in Kenya, which is like a Muslim state predominantly. It's very conservative. You walk around, you see people in hijab, you see people like it's a very conservative society in Mombasa. Nairobi is city, so not as conservative as Mombasa. And Nairobi is very, you know, there's a lot of Western influence there. There's clubs, there's, you know, a lot of stuff going down in Nairobi. So I would say a bit of both in each of those countries, Uganda, Nairobi, Kenya, and Ghana. But I'll definitely say maybe Kenya more than maybe Ghana or Uganda.
Okay. Stay strong, Africa. Stay strong. Don't allow that Western nonsense to creep in and destroy your society like it has in the West. Right. Stay strong, please. Stay strong. Um, so next question for you, brother, is now in terms of lifestyle. So if a passport bro was to take his laptop over there and move out there to remote work there in Ghana, Uganda, and Kenya, what kind of lifestyle would he live, brother, in your opinion, on average?
In I would say you would get the best value in Kenya. You know, they have a very strong there's a very strong IT presence in Kenya. I think it's got one of the fastest growing IT space in Africa. I think it's Nigeria, Ghana, and South Africa. You know, in that particular order. There's a lot of IT startups in Kenya. The internet there is very strong. So if you're a passport bro, Kenya, I would is definitely you know, somewhere that you could work remotely and live a very decent you know, the lifestyle there is pretty nice. Kenya is nice, honestly. I like Kenya. So I would say Kenya over those two.
Okay. Awesome, brother. Awesome. So next question for you, brother, is now in terms of what about the lifestyle, brother, that the average person is living in Kenya, Uganda, and Ghana, brother? Right? Is it a poor lifestyle? Is it a normal lifestyle? We know that the foreigners that live good in these countries, but what are the black people there, brother? How they living from what you saw?
To be honest, people do live decent in each of those countries. Um, but I would say maybe Kenya. I think the lifestyle in Kenya is pretty decent. Like a lot of the locals there, I see are doing well. You know, they live well. You know, I didn't really see too much. poverty per se. I'm not saying it's not there, it is there, but I didn't really see too many, even in all of the countries, to be honest. I didn't really see people living very poorly. Even in Ghana, I remember a lot of people that were begging on the streets were not actually Ghanaians. There were people from Niger and Chad. I don't know if you know about the Bebers, you
Yes, I
know?
do. Mhm.
Yeah. The Tuareg people. I think there's a group amongst the Berbers called the Tuaregs. You find them in places like Niger and I think Chad or Mali. So they're like fair skin, they look like they're like Arab looking. So, I did see a lot of them in Ghana, and they were the ones that were, begging hams and stuff. So I would say there is poverty, but it's not really, as it's portrayed by the West. I didn't see a lot of, you know, I didn't see poor people in each of those countries that I went. I just saw hardworking people, regular people, hardworking people every other day, living their life, doing their thing, and that's what I saw pretty much in each of those countries. Kenya is a bit reserved, so I didn't really go out that much in Kenya, but in Ghana, I mean, sorry, Ghana is pretty reserved. But in Kenya, I did go out a lot, and I did see people were really they were actually living good. There wasn't really, it's that the living standard is not as great as it would be if you're living in the West. But I would say the average person was living decent. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, brother. So next question for you, brother, right now is in terms of language. So obviously across those three countries, brother, what language do we need to communicate with the people there, brother? In your opinion, do we have to learn their languages, or is English enough in your opinion?
Now in all those countries, they all speak English, so you didn't need to learn another language. You don't need to learn another language. It's funny because before going to Kenya, right, I was in Ethiopia, and in Ethiopia, English is a bit of a struggle there. Not everybody there speaks English. And I remember when I got to Kenya, I was a bit more relieved. I was like, thank goodness, I'm in a country where people speak English. So English is definitely not a problem in any of those countries. Ghana, Uganda, or Kenya, you wouldn't have a problem at all communicating in English. So they all do speak English. Yeah, you don't have nothing to worry about.
Awesome, awesome, brother. So next question for you, bro, is now in terms of weather. So across those three countries, brother, how was the weather like, brother? Was it scorching hot? Was it mild? Was it raining? How was the weather like, brother, in your opinion?
So yeah, I'll start with Ghana. In Ghana, the weather was hot. Ghana is hot. Like it's tropical. The weather was really hot in Ghana. So if you're gonna go to Ghana, if that's what you're looking for, then definitely Ghana is the place to go when it comes to like, very tropical hot weather. It was definitely really hot in Ghana. In Uganda, not as much. The weather was very decent. It wasn't really hot. It wasn't really, I think maybe it was around 29, 30 degrees, 28. The weather was pretty decent in Uganda. I didn't really have any complaints about the weather. Now in Kenya, if you're in the coast in Mombasa, it's really humid over there. It's not like it's really hot, like in terms of the the sun, but it gets really humid in Mombasa. So if humidity is your thing, then Mombasa is where you want to be at. However, in Nairobi, the weather, I think Nairobi weather is really good. I like Nairobi weather. It gets cold. Like if you're thinking Africa is hot and you just go there with like a t-shirt or whatever, trust me, you get the biggest shock of your life if you're in Nairobi. Nairobi weather can get really cold sometimes. So the weather, I would say, I would give Nairobi. I'll give Kenya the tick, or Nairobi especially when it comes to weather. I think they have the best weather in all those countries that I mentioned, especially
Awesome,
Nairobi. Yeah.
awesome, bro. Awesome. So, brother, so in your opinion, right? So obviously we're IT bros. Um, remote working landscape. I think you mentioned Kenya would be the best country for brothers to remote work IT there. So you're saying
Yeah.
it'd be hard to do in Ghana and Uganda.
No, you can obviously work remotely in those countries as well. But I just think in Kenya, because Kenya just offers more. I think just no, apart from just the IT infrastructure there, just life there in general. I just think it's better. I just think it's better, man. Like the infrastructure, yeah. I just think Kenya is better than those two countries. Yeah. But if you're definitely a passport bro or you're remote working, um, Kenya is where you want to be. Yeah.
Awesome, brother. So, brother, what would you say is your favorite country out of all three, and why?
I would say Kenya.
Why
I would
so?
say Kenya. First, because one in Kenya, you find everyone in Kenya. I think it's the most diverse in out of those three countries. You find everyone there. You find Europeans. Even in Kenya at the airport, you could change your Australian money, Australian dollars. Like most times when I have to travel, I have to convert my money from Australian dollar to US dollars. But in Kenya, right at the airport, easy. You know. So I think because Kenya has the biggest tourism industry, so they're more used to seeing foreigners. If you're a foreigner, you won't really get any sort of shock per se. They have good malls. The realtor sector there is awesome. Kenya. I like Kenya, man. Kenya is decent. So I would say Kenya above. Um, I'll put Ghana as on the bottom, to be honest. I also like Uganda. Uganda is way cheap as well. Uganda is cheaper. I think the IT infrastructure there is pretty decent, but I think Kenya just edges it, as regards to just infrastructure and everything else. I think Kenya over those two.
Awesome, brother. And what about your favorite cities, brother? In each country.
I don't know. I don't know I did Accra is definitely on the bottom. That I will tell you. But I would say I would say Nairobi. I would say Nairobi. Yeah. I'll say Nairobi first. I do like Mombasa. I don't know why. Mombasa is just very reserved. You know, it's like Mombasa is like traveling into time. I don't know. It feels that way. It's like traveling into time. It's like, I don't know. There's something about Mombasa that I really like. It's also coastal, but it's very humid as well. The IT there is good. Kenya just has good IT and retail space, to be honest. Um, but in terms of, I would say Nairobi, Kampala too is good. Well, for me anyway, I'll say Nairobi, Mombasa, Kampala, then Accra. So that's my from top favorite to least favorite. Yeah.
Well, brother, what's going on in Accra? Why is it bad for you apart from cost of living, brother? What did you see that got to the bottom for you, brother?
I don't know. To be honest, so I'm Nigerian, right? And I was to I would say I don't know. Like other than cost of living, I feel like Accra is nice. Like it's conservative, people there are friendly. But in terms of in relation to those other countries and cities, that's why it has come, at the bottom of the list. It's not that it's not good. It is good. I like it. Like, life there is like compared to like a city like Lagos, in Nigeria, which is just crazy. Like Lagos is just crazy, man. You know. So compared to Lagos, Accra is way, is more relaxing. It's calm. People there are, I would say friendly. So depending on what you're looking for, but as in terms of in comparison to this two other countries or the cities that were spoken about on the stream, I would say Accra comes at the very bottom, but it's not a bad city. It is good. Yeah.
Okay, brother. So, brother, thanks for that first breakdown of the stream. Now, let's go to the woman part, brother. So, brother, when we speak about Kenya, Uganda, and Ghana, right? You were there, brother. Would you say the women in those countries love yeah, well, Western black men, foreign black men not from their countries, brother? Overall, brother, are they checking for us?
They are 1000% checking for passport bros. That I can tell you. They're definitely checking for brothers in each of those countries that I mentioned.
Flipping heck,
Definitely.
bruv.
They're
And
definitely checking for brothers.
why is that, brother? What is it about you as a Nigerian man, me as an English dude, American brothers? What is it about us that they love so much from what you saw and heard?
So I'll start with I would say, I don't know, just across Africa, right? And even in amongst Africans in the diaspora. I think there's just a stereotype about Nigerians, basically. And I think I've discussed this with you on previous streams. The first part being the money aspect. So they just feel like Nigerians just have more money, you know. So that stereotype cuts across each of those countries. That I've mentioned. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes you're Nigerian and they love you. Sometimes you're Nigerian and they're like, stay away from me. So I think it depends on the experience of the person or the female in question. But I can tell you that they definitely checking out for Nigerians and passport bros in those countries. Yeah,
Wow, incredible, brother, incredible. So now, brother, um, if we break it down by, you know, you were there, brother, okay?
yeah,
Uh, looks wise, brother, in each of those countries, brother, how how good looking are the black women there, right, brother?
yeah.
In those countries, brother, right? And but keep it 100, brother, right? In your facially, body wise, break it down for each country, brother. Are they packing? Got a beautiful face on average? Are they ugly? Keep it real with us, bro.
Ah man, that's a hard one. Women in Kenya are pretty. Women in Kenya are pretty, and they do have, you know, like I think the closest thing to the US, BWs in the US, I would say it's Ghana. You know, like Ghana is very, like if the average Ghanaian female looks like like an African American woman.
Oh,
So yeah, 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 they do. So
oh, okay.
they've got like, yeah, now Ghana women are pretty, man. And I don't know, there's this particular ethnic group in Ghana. I think it's the Ashantis. They have like this beautiful dark skin, like just I don't know, very smooth. I don't know. There's something about this that particular ethnic group within Ghana. They just have beautiful skin. Like the men and the women just have beautiful skin. So Ghanaian women are definitely beautiful. That I can tell you. And they have like very good bodies as well. Like, they're packing, so if they've got that Arsenal and they've got that Manchester United. So if that's your thing, you definitely find a lot of those in Ghana. Um, so they have that typical West African American look in Ghana. That's for sure. In Uganda, to be honest, I would say when it comes to I don't know what am I allowed to say. Can I say like obviously it is PG, but I don't know if I can
Mhm.
say bum. Can I say that?
Yeah, yeah. You can say it, brother. Back
Okay.
off, back off. Say back off. You're saying back off.
Back up. Man, in Uganda, goddamn IP. If that's your thing, Uganda is where you want to be at. Like the women there are endowed IP. Like they've got, you know, really, really nice figures and big, big backups. Yeah. Maybe not as pretty, but they do have pretty women do too there as well. But they have like mad I would say Uganda over Ghana and because I've been there, so I've seen, what they look like. Trust me, the IP they have mad bodies in Uganda. Like it's crazy. It is
Flipping
crazy.
heck.
Yeah, and they also have a lot of they have Indians in Uganda as well, but not as much. They have some Arabs there as well, but not as much. And they have a large Eritrean community in Uganda. So if
Ooh,
yeah, they do. So if Habesha looking women is your thing as well, you'll find that also in Uganda. They have a large Eritrean
ooh,
community in Uganda. Yeah, yeah.
ooh, ooh.
If you go to Kampala, you
What?
see a lot of them. Yeah, yeah, IP. They do, sorry. They do.
But
They have a large,
what about Ethiopian chicks? Are they also there as well?
not as much, but Ethiopians and Eritreans do look the same. So if that's your thing, if that's your thing, you'll find a lot of them in Kampala. There's a lot of them there in
And,
Kampala.
and brother, they like Western brothers, foreign brothers. These
Abso
Habishas.
Absolutely, IP. Absolutely. I met a American Eritrean in Uganda, and yeah, it was a good experience.
Patreon coming soon.
It was
Patreon
a good
coming soon,
experience,
brother.
IP. That I'll tell you.
Patreon on the way. Patreon on the way, brothers.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that was a good experience. So yeah, they do have that in Uganda. But I would say in terms of variety, I would say Kenya. Yeah, there's everything in Kenya. There's
So, brother,
everything in Kenya.
in terms of 1 to 3, brother, how you ranking the women, brother, top to bottom, in your opinion?
I would say Kenya, I would say Ghana, and I would say Uganda.
Mm. Kenyan
Yeah.
women are good looking, brother. They are, brother. Obviously, actually, I won't say it. I'll ask you after, just in case. I want to be
Mm.
careful here. So, brother, so obviously, in your opinion, where are the best places for us, brother, to meet? Obviously, there's 3 or 4s everywhere. Okay, but how
Mm.
can we meet decent women, brother, for wifey in each of those countries, brother? Is it for friends? Is it by would you say the park, museum, wine tasting? Break it down for us, bro.
I'll say all of those that you mentioned. I feel like in each of those, in the end of those countries, right? If you really want to meet a decent woman, for a long-term relationship or to wife up, you definitely have to be in those countries for some time.
Mm.
Um, yeah, because if you're there, you can easily or assess people or assess them, on dates, like, constant interactions with them. So to be honest, you can find decent women in any of those countries that I mentioned. For me, I just prefer Kenya overall. You would definitely find if you're looking for more conservative, like if you're looking for a lady who's like a Muslim, I think you just go to like a place like Mombasa. If that's your thing, I don't know if they might ask you to convert, but you can definitely find very conservative women in that part of Kenya, Mombasa. But I do think you can find wifey in any of those countries. But Kenya, Nairobi is there are a lot of 304s there as well. So yeah, you need to you need to be on the lookout for that as well. But it's a fun place. Yeah.
So, brother, let me ask this right. So, obviously, keeping it PG, how do we spot 3 or 4s in each of those countries, brother? In your opinion, is it by where they dress and spots? How do we spot a 3 or 4 in Kenya,
So
in Ghana, and Uganda?
so it's the same pattern I think all across Africa, right? Women will usually come to places on their own, most times at 304s. So if you find a group of women or a group of girls where like maybe 3 or 4 will sit down by themselves at a cafe, at a restaurant, at a bar, and just looking around. Like if they come there to eat and just go, then they're just hanging out. But if they come, they're looking around, they're having like a sip of a drink. They're spending more time that women would usually spend on the spot. You can definitely tell the 3 or 4s, right? So with my experience in Kenya, right? I went to this lounge. nice hotel. I can't. What's the name again? Nice hotel though. I think it's Ibis or something. Really nice hotel. So I was at the rooftop at the very top of the hotel, and I was watching a Champions League game, right? I think it was I can't remember the team also. I think it was Madrid or Chelsea or something. It was USA. You know what I'm talking about because you watch
Yep.
football IP, yeah. So your American audience might not know too much, but I'm sure you do. So I was watching
Hmm.
a UEFA Champions League game, and I could see that there was a bunch of women just around that area, right? And in Kenya, there's a lot of Caucasian dudes as well. They come there a lot. I remember even when I was in Nairobi, I saw this Caucasian dude, maybe in his 50s, with this, Kenyan chick at the pool. You see a lot of that in Kenya. If you go to Kenya, Kenya in this country where I'm living, Australia. I don't know how Kenyan women do it, but they have a very good way of catching, white men. I don't know how to do it, but yeah, they do. The same thing for their men as well. So there's a lot of Muzungus in Kenya. Anyway, so this chick was she was pretty, right? And I called her, hey, what's up? How you doing? At first, I saw her talking to a Muzungu. Then, you know what Muzungu is, right, IP?
That's a tribe, right?
No, Muzungu is a white person.
Okay.
So it's a word in Swahili. I think it means foreigner or white. I don't know what it actually means, but Muzungu, when you hear Muzungu, they refer to a white person in Swahili language. So I saw her with a Muzungu and I was like, okay. Then I called her, like, hey, what's up? How you doing? And we spoke. She told me she was a student, right? That she was on break. I said, oh, nice. I told her, look, I'm just traveling, and I got her number and then I left, right?
Mm.
So later that night, she sent me a text and she was like, "Oh," because she told me she was going to another bar with a friend. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's cool. No worries, we'll catch up." And she sent me a text and she was like, "Oh, this where I am is not really fun. Where are you?" I was like, "Oh, I'm at my hotel or my Airbnb. Do you want to come?" She was like, "Yeah, but how much are you paying me?" You see? I was like, I thought you just wanted to come chill, like so. Yeah. So if you're in any of those cities or countries, whether it's Kenya, whether it's Ghana, whether it's Uganda, and you find a bunch of chicks hanging out by themselves in clubs and just taking too much time, sitting or chilling, they're definitely three or fours. Yeah.
What about how they dress, brother? How do the women dress out there in each of those countries, brother? Right? Are they very promiscuous in their dressing, or are they very conservative in their dressing, brother? Or is it like a normal long summer dress? And Iris, what you saw out there, brother? How are they dressing that, brother? In your opinion?
To be honest, the women that didn't dress, they dress pretty normal. They wear like tops, jeans, or pants, or whatever. But definitely, if they're going to the club, then they might be a bit over the top sometimes, but not.
Mm,
But I think the dressing is pretty decent. IP, to be honest, I didn't really see any outrageous dressing while I was in any of those countries. To be honest, yeah, I think the dress is pretty normal. Yeah,
okay, awesome, brother, awesome. So, next question for you, brother. Right? Obviously, some of us, brother, are looking for wifey, right? Um, so, brother, brother, would you say in each of those countries, brother, the women there are wifey, brother? If so, what makes a wife in your opinion? And can we find wives there in your opinion?
I think we can find prosperous bros can find wives in any of those countries. To be honest, um, I'm Nigerian, and I'll pick any of those countries before Nigeria when it comes to finding a woman. I swear, I'm not even joking.
Nigeria
IP,
that bad?
that's
Nigeria's that bad?
bro, especially in the South. Oh man, it's crazy out there, man. Honestly,
Wow.
I was there in January, and nah. So I will still pick any of those countries over Nigeria any day, anytime when it comes to looking for a long-term partner or wife. Ghanaian women are nice. I won't lie. There's still three or four in there as well, but you just have to be there long enough to find the right quality chick or lady to be with. Same as Kenya, same as Uganda. But I just feel like in Kenya there's more variety. That's what I just think. Yeah, there's more variety in Kenya. Yeah.
So, brother, how would one spot? How would one, brother, spot? What's it called? Um, how would one spot wifey, brother? You know, in those countries, brother. How do we spot a wife, brother? Where do we go to find a wife? What kind of wife qualities must she display that's African that makes a wifey, brother? Because we're not African, you are, brother. So if you break it off, we
Yeah.
are by blood, brother. But nationality
Yeah.
wise, obviously, it's American, UK. We don't have the African experience, brother. Break it down for us, bro.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So what I would say is that just go to places where you know, like places where you could potentially find a woman, you know, a decent woman. So I would say maybe churches, you know, I would say maybe places like, in Kenya, there's a lot of it has a big tourism industry. So they have like parks, they have like museums, they have like wine tasting is also prevalent in Kenya as well. So if you go to places like that, you can potentially meet a decent lady. A decent lady will be a lady who's working, maybe was working 9 to 5, or she's got a business, or she's very productive in what she does, or she's just got some sort of income and she's busy, she's working. I think those are the type of ladies that you should be looking for. If she's like in school, if she tells you that, oh, she's looking for work, or she doesn't, then you want to avoid people like that, you know. So you would, if that's what you're looking for, you would definitely find it in each of those countries. But like I said, you just have to be there long enough to actually meet someone and have a proper connection with that person. So you can definitely find women, But I would say you need to be there. I wouldn't really advise to meet women online. You can, but I would say it's better if you're in that country. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So, brother, let me ask this then. So, uh, Kenyan women seem to really like white men, brother. From what I've heard, from what I've seen, when you were out there, brother, did you see a whole bunch of Kenyan chicks with white men?
I did see some, not a lot, but like you said, it is very common. Kenyan women with white men. It's a very common thing in Kenya. You see that a lot in Kenya. You see it in the West. I think I've seen more Kenyan women with white men than any other African group, to be honest. And in most cases, they're with them for the money, to be honest. But it's not like they don't like African men as well. They do. Nigerian men have a reputation in Kenya. They love Nigerian men. I don't know why, but they do. So if you're African American as well, you would have a good time in Kenya. Trust me, you would. You would, or you're Black British, you would. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, brother. Shout out to Mr. New Money Marcus for the support. Thank you, brother. The hottest girl I dated to date was from Somalia. I dated her for a year in college. The bedroom euphemism enthusiasm kept me in top shape. Interesting. Thank you both for
Oh
the
yeah,
support.
yeah. I think there's a large Somali community in Kenya as well. Very large, very
The chicken
large
too.
Somali
The
community.
chicken.
I don't know with those ones. I think you'd have to be a Muslim.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I think you'd have to be a Muslim. Remember, the thing is that they're in Africa, so yeah, it's a bit different from when you meet them in the West. It's a bit different from when you meet them in the West. So definitely, if you're Muslim, I think you will do great with the Somalis but there's a large Somali community in Kenya, very very large. Yeah.
So, brother, let me ask this then. So, brother, in terms of body count, brother, in each of those countries, brother, right? Would you say on average is low body counts? Is it high body count on average with the woman from what you saw out there? 'Cause I think a lot of brothers have this perception that African women are innocent, and in many cases that's not the case, right? So from what you saw out
Yeah.
there, brother, would you say that on average women have high body counts, or is it some? Give us some numbers here, brother. And can we find virgins out there, in your opinion?
You can find virgins definitely in any of those countries that I mentioned. But I think the body count, I would say maybe Kenya. I think the body count in Kenya, you know, yeah, I think especially in somewhere like Nairobi. Nairobi's like a proper city, man. You know, the more developed the places, the more the women there are, involved in extracurricular activities. Let me just put it that way. I feel that's just the truth. So in Nairobi, I would say the body count is definitely on the high side. You know, so you will find women that are virgins, you'll find women that have low body count, but you also find women with very high body count. So I would say the women that go to the club every other time, the one you see in lounges, places like that, I'll say they definitely have high body counts compared to the ones that are usually maybe just very reserved, very, they are maybe, professional life or whatnot. I think the ones that are very outgoing, there's obviously chances that they will have high body count. So yeah, yeah,
So, brother, you would say each of those countries are religious, right?
they are, but it's not like in your face per se. It's
Mm.
not like Ethiopia where it's very, religious. You understand? They do practice religion there, but those countries are secular countries. Kenya is very secular. Ghana is very secular. Uganda is very secular. So you can be religious, but that's just for you, you know. But they're definitely, you know, they do practice Christianity and Islam in all of those countries that I mentioned, but they are secular countries as well. So yeah,
So you would say, brother, to find a wife, right? Most likely, you're gonna have to go to church or the mosque.
I'm not saying most likely, but those are avenues that you can explore. Churches, mosque, uh, but you would find decent women. Like it all depends on where you go to. It depends on the type of quality of woman that you're looking for as well. Like do you want her to be educated? Do you want her to be like have a business? Do you want her to be working? It depends on what you're looking for. So I guess if you're looking for like very, high value or top notch women, you definitely will go to places that are very refined, places like maybe lounges, like restaurants, like I am restaurants or whatnot, places like that, like parks. It depends on what you're looking for. But I would say, for me personally, I don't need a woman to be too refined. I just need her to be like, to be walking, you know, educated, pretty, and just yeah. So it depends on what you're looking for. But what I can tell you is that you will find a wife in any of those countries if you're there long enough. You will find them. Yeah.
So, brother, let's talk about feminism, right? Um, when you were there, brother, right? Did you sense any sort of feminism in each of those countries amongst the women, or the culture, or the entertainment medium? Was that there a talk? Obviously, I know Kenya has a very highly educated female population. And when that happens, feminism, it could be quite rampant there. Break it down for
Yeah,
us, bro.
yeah. I would think Kenya above, you will find more of that in Kenya than Ghana or Uganda. Like you just mentioned, Kenyan women, they have a high educated group of women in Kenya. And Kenyan women are usually very outgoing, very dominant. That's one thing I noticed about Kenya because I do have, even last night I was with a bunch of Kenya chicks. So they do have very outgoing personality. They're go getters. The women in Kenya. Um, are they feminist? I guess you can classify that as being feminine, like feminism in a way. You know, but would it be in your face like yada yada yada? Not really. I don't think that's a personality. I think they're very, very calm as well, the women, Kenyan women. I feel like if you're a guy and you handle your part, they'll definitely, be very submissive to you. So, and it is still Africa.
Mhm.
It is still Africa. So there's still a bit of culture and, whatnot. that goes, yeah. So I would say feminism characteristics, you'll find more of that in Kenya, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting, brother. Interesting. So next question for you, brother, right, is in terms of um cold approach, brother, right?
Mm.
So, brother, did you cold approach out there in each of those countries, and how, if so, what was your success rate, and how would you do so to cold approach an African chick in those countries?
I would say cold approach it. I think I would say you will get more successes in Uganda, I think. In Uganda. Did I yeah, I did. I did. Um I didn't get any success though, but it was because I wasn't there for too long, you know. Um I was there for just a couple of days. So I think in Uganda the women there are very direct. I like that. You know, I remember there was this girls I was talking to, and they were doctors, right? It was crazy because they were at the spot till like 5 in the morning. Or when I left there, 5 in the morning, and they had work at 8, 3 hours, from when I left. And I'm like, are you guys medical doctors and you go work at 8 in the morning? Like, you guys are crazy, man. So I did. There was while I was talking to one, she had like a very, yeah, her body was just, yeah, ridiculous, IP. And the friend and I, got talking. She asked me where I was from. I told her Australia. I was from Australia, and she started speaking in an Australian accent. Hey, man, which was pretty funny. And she said to me directly, like, "Look, I know you wanna hit my friend, and I can't hit you." I was like, "What?"
Huh? She meant slash?
Yeah, just like because I was talking to a friend, she was like, I know you want to smash my friend, but I can't smash you. Like, when did I tell you that I wanted to smash you? So what she was indirectly saying to me was like, look, I would smash you, but you want to smash my friend. You see?
Mm.
So in Uganda, women can be very direct like that, you know. So I guess if yeah, I think in Kenya women do tend to pretend sometimes as well. But I feel like in Uganda chicks are very direct. So I think I think you would have more success rate in Uganda just based off, you know, my experience and just based on what I saw, the energy that the women there were given. I think I would say Uganda, Kenya, and Ghana. I think Ghana women are a bit more reserved. Yeah.
Were you cold approached, brother, by a woman in any of those
Uh
countries?
Absolutely I was. Yeah.
You were cold approached. Okay, can you would you
Yeah.
what countries were you cold approached in, and how did that happen? What function was that, at a club, or was it when you were at the mall? Break it down for us.
That was when I was at the lounge in in Kenya. I was called up by this female, and we just got talking, but obviously she was a 304. You understand? So yeah, there's a high chances that you might get caught approached by 304s. However, if you're like at a distant spot, you're good looking, you're dressing up, there's a high chance that you get caught approached by women in those countries. That's for sure.
Interesting. Interesting, brother. So now, brother, I want to ask you about submissiveness and femininity, brother. Right? Can that be found in? Would you say Kenyan women, Ugandan women, Ghanaian women are submissive, brother, and feminine to their man, or is there problems there, brother? From what you observe, break it down for us, bro.
I think they are. I think they are. Also, it depends on where you meet her. You see, so if you
Mm.
if you meet a chicken in Nairobi, which is a major city, you know, in Africa and across the world, women there are usually a bit more, city-like, you know. But I think it all depends on the sort of value that you bring. So if you're a dude who's got the stuff together, you're the breadwinner, you handle your biz. Women there would be, very relatively submissive to you, you know. However, you can still find very cultural and traditional women that will be even be more submissive, you see. So it all
Mm,
depends on where you meet them, where they live. Like if you're in Mombasa, which is a very conservative place, you definitely there's a high chances of meeting more submissive women in that part than you will find in Nairobi. So it's a function of our culture, because there are different cultures as well. Some cultures are, women there are maybe more submissive, like in a different culture, So I think it all depends on all these factors: culture, religion, education, our worldview, our experiences. So yeah, all these things would determine how submissive a woman will be. But you will definitely find submissive women in any of those countries that you will find in the UK or America. That's for sure. Or in Melbourne, Australia. Yeah,
amazing. So, brother, now let's talk about the other races of women, brother. I think obviously I mentioned earlier previously, but I didn't go too deep into it.
yeah,
What's the obviously Kenya, Indian woman, Arab woman, Uganda, I think Chinese woman, and uh, Ghana. I'm not too sure, but correct me, please.
yeah.
So how about you tell me the vast majority of foreign women you saw in those countries, and is there a avenue for black men to date these foreign women? Can we date the Chinese chicks in Uganda? Can we date the Arab chicks in flipping, in Uganda, or sorry, in Kenya? Break it down for us, bro.
So I'd say there's a high chance of meeting foreign women in Kenya more than in Ghana or Uganda. Like I said, Kenya is it's very, you know, it's very open to the to tourism, you know. So you do find women from all across the world. I remember there was this guy that I used to know when I lived in Perth. At the time I met him, he'd been in Australia for over 20 something years, right? And he told me that when he was living in Kenya, in Mombasa, he met an Australian lady, right? And, and the guy's funny, man. He said he cooked her some concoction and whatnot, and she couldn't travel back to Australia. And she pretty much lived with him in Mombasa for around 2 years. Then they moved back together to Australia, right? So you would find a lot of foreign women in Kenya, Europeans, you know, a lot of them do come to Kenya, Australians as well. So you'll find that a lot in Kenya. I don't know what the relationship is between the average Kenyan and the Indian population there. But I did ask someone, and they said it was pretty good. I think it was actually this week. There was this Kenyan brother that I met at the barber shop, and I was just asking him what the relationship is between the Indians that are Kenyans and the native or indigenous Kenyan people. And he told me that it was pretty good. That they do get down, they do get married to the local to native Kenyans as well. So I think in that aspect, I think it's um, so you have a better chance of meeting um members of other ethnic groups or other ethnic nationalities in Kenya more than you will find in Uganda or Ghana. So you will find Caucasian women, European women in Kenya, you will find Indians, you will find Arabs, you'll find Somalis, you will find Ethiopians, you'll find everyone. Everyone is pretty much in Kenya. So I said there was more variety in Kenya. Yeah,
So you're saying the European women are getting ran through by the Kenyan dudes?
absolutely.
Yep. But
Absolutely.
are these European chicks good looking, or are these the fat, old, ugly white women?
No, no, you'll find sweet looking. Even in Uganda, I found very good looking Caucasian women while I was there as well. I was like, ooh, okay. Look, Africa is not what they tell you on the media, to be honest.
Mm.
Like you really need to go and experience it yourself. Like I had an amazing time while I was in Kenya and Uganda. Honestly, I did. I found everyone there, man. Like everyone is there. It's not what the media. That's just the truth. Like it's not what the media portrays it to be. Like it
Jack,
is. It is amazing. Like you would really enjoy yourself while you're in those countries.
you see any Japanese chicks there, brother? Any Japanese chicks?
Nah, I didn't say the Japanese IP, but I'm sure they are there. I'm sure they are there, especially in Kenya. You will find them if you're looking for Japanese chicks. Bro, you probably just have to go to the embassy or something.
No, but obviously, yeah, I think obviously the media portrays lies about Africa to stop brothers from going there and investing in the
Yeah,
country and building lives there. They do it on purpose, man. Um, but
yeah,
but that's why the channel is here to give that perspective and get brothers inspired to travel out there, and see how it goes. Shout out to Kevin
yeah.
for the support. How does he think is the first? How does he think is the first for foreigners of the three countries? Can you read that on the channel? Can you read it on the screen?
Sorry, I didn't get it.
So he says here, how does he think is the fastest for? So what does he think is the fastest for foreigners of the three countries? Fastest.
What's that? What's this? It doesn't mean safest
But what does that mean? So I think the fastest country, let's say women that are thirsty for foreigners, for Western men.
or thirsty.
Yes.
Oh, I think Kenya. I think Kenya are thirsty for foreign man.
And
I
why
think
is
they
that?
all are. I think they all are, but I would say Kenya above the remaining two. I would say Kenya, Uganda, and Ghana. Yeah.
Okay.
Kenya just like I don't know, Kenya for some reason don't really I don't know, most of the women don't really fancy the men. I think they just
Oh.
like foreign men. Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think they like foreign men in Kenya. Obviously the majority of the population are with Kenyan men, obviously, because it
Mm.
is Kenya. But I feel like a lot of the women are not against, being with foreigners. I think especially in Kenya, I noticed that. Like I tell you, man, like if you're Nigerian in Kenya, bro, you're hot. You're like a hot commodity, man. Honestly. Honestly, like I've met even Ethiopians in Kenya who have dated Nigerian, and there was a chick I met while I was in Ethiopia, and she was telling me like, look, man, Kenyan women love the Nigerians. I think they're just like foreign men. You know. So if you're a foreign guy, you will do well in Kenya and Uganda as well. You do well in three countries, the three other countries, but I think Kenya the most. Yeah.
So I'm gonna. It's been very positive so far. I'm gonna switch it around, right? I'm gonna say, tell me things that you don't like about women from each country that you've noticed, brother. From Ghanaian women, Ugandan women, and obviously Kenyan chicks.
I'll say one thing that I like about Kenyan chicks is that Kenyan chicks like money. They like money. The women in Kenya are aggressive, man. They like money. They like the good things. They wanna party. They wanna, buy expensive clothing. Like, yeah, I think you'll find more of that in Kenya. It cut across the three other countries, but I think more I think by experience, I think I found more of that in Kenya. That's definitely that. Um, I think Kenyan women also can be a bit promiscuous. I would just say it goes for all the three countries, but I'll just put Kenya as the top for that promiscuity. I think women in Ghana too are promiscuous, but I think Ghana is perhaps on the least country when it comes to that. Also, what else? The love of money, promiscuity, unfaithfulness. I think that happens too in Kenya. I think the women can be unfaithful as well because I have had a lot of um, experience, not just me, but with my other friends, how some of the Kenyan women that are married to white men over here are being ran through by brothers on the side.
Flipping
You know,
heck, bruv.
so yeah, that happens as well. So yeah, you just have to be careful though if you're out there. Um, yeah, they do have that, unfaithful spirits, I would say.
This man's an unfaithful spirit. Oh, flipping hell.
Nah, nah, unfaithful spirit as well. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think those are the three things that can come to my mind right now. That I would say I wouldn't like about them, but yeah, yeah. But they're
What
good for
about
vibes, man. Men women are good for vibes. That I can tell you.
what about Ugandan and Ghanaian chicks that you don't like about them?
So I like I said,
Oh, sorry, I missed it.
um, yeah, yeah. So I'm just basing it off the three of them.
Mm,
So I'm just giving you from top to bottom. So in Uganda, you'll find those things as well, but I think you'll find more in Kenya. You see, are Uganda women promiscuous? Of course, some of them. Can they be unfaithful? Of course, some of them. Can they be money hungry? Of course, majority of them are. Not majority, but large percentage of them are. So it's the same thing in Ghana as well. But I feel like Kenya will come top. You know, Kenya will come top. Yeah.
okay. Awesome. Awesome, bro. Awesome. So, next question for you, brother, right now is in terms of, let's say, did you deal with religious women, brother?
No, no, I didn't. It's crazy because while I was in Uganda, I was with someone, right? And so while I was in Mombasa, so I didn't really have a lot of interaction with the locals there. But they, I don't know. Mombasa is very reserved, man. It's very reserved. I did like what I saw while I was in Mombasa. So, yeah, yeah. I didn't really get to engage a lot with the women in Mombasa. So I would say that that was the most religious place in all of those countries that I mentioned. But I didn't really deal with the women there a lot. Yeah, but I did see them. Yeah.
Okay. Now, obviously, brother, you dealt with women there. I'm guessing you were out in the open, holding hands with women, walking side by side with them. It was clear that you were, let's say, intimate with some of the women there. Did you feel any sort of animosity or hatred towards you, or jealousy from the local men when you were with the women?
Nah, nah,
They,
I
they, they
didn't.
wouldn't even they wouldn't even know if you were with a foreigner. They wouldn't
Yeah,
even know
yeah,
if you
yeah,
were a
yeah.
foreigner.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can you can blend in quite easily. You know, you can blend in. I think I got the most stares actually in Ethiopia because I stood out, right?
Mm,
But in the rest of those countries, I think you can blend in easily if you're a Western black man, because even though it's funny because Africans don't actually look the same. We might have the same skin tone, but there's slight differences. Like the way West African would look is different from the way East Africans look. Like I'm West African, right? So while I was in Kenya, they knew I was not Kenyan. Just seeing me, they knew. But it is a black majority country, so I don't think nobody will be looking at you sideways. Like they could look at you like if your chick is hot, they could be like, oh, woo, she's hot, man. This dude, well, but not like staying you like with animosity or jealousy. Nah, not really.
awesome, brother. Awesome. So, next question for you now, brother, is in terms of the nightlife scene, brother. So, in each of those countries, brother, what kind of women do you meet in the nightlife scene, brother? In Kenya, Uganda, and Ghana, can we find wifey in the nightlife scene, or is it mostly just three or fours?
You can't find wifeys in the nightlife scene. I would say maybe Ghana and Uganda more. I think in Kenya, man, there's just too much 304ism going on. There's just so much 304ism going on in the night scene over there. But IP, they have They all have amazing life scene and nightlife scene over in those countries. I would even say maybe Uganda, over Kenya and Ghana. The life scene in Uganda is crazy. It's crazy, man. Over the weekend there, Friday, Saturday, it was my experience there. It was amazing in Uganda. I did see decent women though. That I can tell you while I was in the Uganda night scene. But obviously, you also see 304s there as well. But I would say Kenya more. I think you'll find more 304s in Kenya than you'll find in Uganda or Accra. But also, it depends where you're at as well. You know, you can still find
So,
decent women. Yeah.
so we can find decent women in the nightlife in those two countries. How would we spot them, brother? That they're decent.
So you would find them if it depends what it is. Is it a nightclub? Is it a lounge? Is it a bar? If it's a nightclub, if perhaps she's at a club and she's there because of one of our friends or girlfriends, or maybe a man's girlfriend or something like that, then there's a possibility that she's decent, you know. But if she's just there every other night, every other weekend with her friends, that's not the type of girl you should be looking out for, you know. But if she's there for a specific reason, like there are
Mm,
girls, like even here in Melbourne, like you wouldn't find at the club every other night, but they could be there for a specific reason. It could be that one of our girlfriend is having a party. It could be that one of our girlfriends' man is having a party and inviting our friends, you know. So if she's
mm.
there for that specific reason, then she could be decent. However, if she's the type of girl that's always at the night in the nightclubs every other weekend, then you want to be avoiding those type of females, you know. So you could definitely find decent and responsible women in the nightclub in the night scene as well. That's for sure.
And you speaking facts, bro. Oh my god, you speaking facts, Baba, today. Good
Yeah,
point there, bro. Um, so I'm gonna go on for another 10 minutes to open up the phone lines, bro. So let me ask this, Baba, right? So nightlife. You said that the nightlife scene is amazing in those countries, right? Now I'll tell you
yeah.
this, right? I'm not sure if you've been to Germany, but in my opinion, Germany's nightlife is insane, flipping heck, bro. So I'm gonna ask this, Baba, right? Um, what kind of music do they play in the nightlife scene, brother? And what makes it amazing in those countries, brother? Break it down for us.
So it's mostly African music, like Afrobeats. Afrobeat is literally taken over all of those countries. So if you go to Kenya, it's strictly Afrobeats, you know. Your Burna Boys, your Davido, your D'banj, a bit of reggaeton as well. They also play a bit of their own indigenous music and hip hop as well, but Afrobeat mostly you will find in those scenes. Both, whether Kenya, Uganda, or Accra, you will find a lot of Afrobeat in the clubs. Yeah,
Awesome, brother. So no rap music saying the N word, this N word, that nonsense.
they do have like it depends. Like there's a bunch of rap music there here and there, but mostly like R&B and R&B and not the hardcore rap. Maybe like some Drake there, some obviously if they mention the N word, they're not gonna censor it. It's gonna be in the music, but you will find mostly more Afrobeats than you'll find, especially these days. Yeah, Afrobeat and piano. Yeah,
Were you called the N word in any of those countries, brother?
nobody's gonna call you the N word. You're in Africa, IP. No, 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 no. Nobody calls you the N word there.
Did you hear the N word being said by some people
No,
there?
I didn't. I didn't.
Good stuff, Africa. Well done, Africa. Good. Well done. So what about, brother? So online dating in in few of those countries, brother. Did you use Tinder, Hinge, Bumble? If so, how did it go for you?
To be honest, I used Inch while I was in Uganda, but not so much in Accra or Kenya. So my Kenyan trip, my first few days, I was with a lady, so I really didn't do much while I was in Mombasa. So by the time I got to Nairobi, she had left, and I was in Nairobi for a couple of days. I did have, I don't think you actually need dating apps while you're in those countries, but you can definitely use dating apps there as well. And I can tell you, like, because even right now, I still have like my Afro introduction account. A lot of the women that message me are from Kenya. So if you're a Western black guy and you're in Kenya and you're in either Tinder or Inge or whatnot, you get a lot of matches. That I can tell you. The women in Kenya are just yeah. Yeah, like if I show you my Afro introduction account, I have maybe 500 unread messages. A majority of those messages come from Kenya. So yeah, you'll do really well if you're using dating apps in those countries.
Amazing,
Kenya
brother.
more. Yeah.
So, did you meet up with women on average from the dating apps, or did you just focus on cold
I, I
approaching?
did I did meet in Uganda while I was in Uganda, yeah.
Okay. And how did that go, bro?
I went where I pay. It was yeah. Funny enough, she was American, but
American.
she was she was Eritrean American. You see, remember I told you
Mm,
that there's a bunch of there's a large Eritrean population in Uganda.
mm.
So I think she was on a I don't know. She said she was teaching. So she came to Uganda to teach, and I think she just arrived in Uganda. I just went on the app, and I was talking to a bunch of other females, and we started talking, and we met up that same night. You know, obviously she is American as well, but nah, it went well.
Awesome,
It was
awesome.
amazing. It was amazing. Yeah, it went well. Yeah.
Patreon coming soon. So let me ask this, brother, right? So how should men dress out there, brother, in those countries to get women, brother? So, brother, in my opinion, right, I think based on what I know, what I've seen, I think men should come dressed in Kenya, Ghana, and Uganda like this. I think men should wear Timberland boots, gold teeth, gold chain, red bandana, New York Jet snapback, 4XL white tees, 3/4 jeans, sagging their pants, and wearing some Hermes belts, you know, wearing a Richard Mille watch, you know, and a couple chains saying West Side and East Coast rep. Do we come through just like that, brother, in those countries?
No, no, no. I agree. No, 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 no. You just dress simple, man. You know, the way I dress usually when I go abroad, I have like my shorts on or my pants on, t-shirt. I've got like my bucket hat, and yeah, it's simple. Like they could tell like I think you should lay more emphasis on your watch, you know, and your cologne. That's it.
Okay, so
That's
we
it.
can wear expensive watches in those countries, brother.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, you can.
Okay, interesting. So, brother, what about safety then? Safety in the nighttime, daytime, by yourself, in the nightclubs. Is this are those safe countries, brother? To
They're
wear
they're
what you
all
want. Come.
they're all safe. I think I felt the most safest in. I think Accra is very safe. I think Accra is very safe. I felt safe also in Nairobi. But Nairobi also is known for um, you know, I've heard stories that people sometimes they call it Nairobi. Nairobi because there's a lot of stealing goes on there as well. It's a city IP, so you will find uh, things like that. So it is safe. I think Accra might be safest. To be honest, I think that's one positive about Accra. I think Accra appears though. I think Accra is very safe, but they're all safe. IP, Kampala, Accra, Mombasa, yeah, they're all very safe. Safety shouldn't be a problem while you're there.
Awesome, awesome. So let's open up the phone lines, brother, and let's get some callers in. So, brothers, if what's that noise?
No, that's me happy. Just give me like 2 secs.
Okay, I'll put
Yeah.
you on mute. I'll put you on mute there, bro, for privacy. All right, brothers, call in. Right, if you have any questions for our guests, please be respectful. Any trolls, you will be banned, so please be respectful. Call in, please ask your question. If you can't call in, you must send your question in a PayPal donation or super chat. Okay. So let me check my PayPal again to make sure I've not missed any other donations. And yeah, so if you can support today, if you can hit the super chat, hit the PayPal, that'd be great. I have been streaming consecutively for 10 days in a row, giving y'all back-to-back classics, motivating y'all to get into IT, booking your IT consultations, and of course, I'll be teaching Python again in June, July time. So time is moving, bruv. Time waits for no man, so you gotta start making moves, brothers, man. You gotta start making moves. Okay. And set yourself up for freedom and success. Freedom, crypto, the crypto game, the IT game, the travel game. Because when this crypto stuff pops off, oh man, when that pops off, brothers, you're gonna be like IP told us. IP told us. Stay focused, brothers, on the mission. You know what the mission is, man. You know what the mission is. Don't you ever forget the mission. Don't you ever forget the mission, brother. Okay? Don't you ever forget the mission. All right, so let me see. Okay, no PayPal donations today. That's cool. Let me open up the phone lines. Okay. Once again, please go and follow me on Kick and Twitch. I'm going to start streaming there consecutively and quite often, where you're going to hear the real IP speak about cultural topics, politics, the world, cultural affairs, the Black community. Right? Please, man, go and follow me on Twitch. I'm also on Rumble too. Right? I've made that Rumble account. You guys asked for it. I'm officially on Rumble. So go and follow me on Rumble. Okay, I am on Rumble. I am on Rumble right now. Okay, I'm dropping videos on there. I'm dropping, I'm dropping, what's it called? Live streams on there. We're gonna make this. We're gonna make this movement so powerful that Western women won't even see it coming. Because you know what? They've disrespected us for so long, right? Particularly educated, nerdy, white collar working, blue collar working brothers, right? Now we're on top, okay? Now we're on top. And I want these Western women to sieve in their words. Shout out to Mr. Namili Gang for the support. Salute you, brother. He says here for you, Baba Tunde. I'm going to mute you, brother. Okay. He says here, which African girls are the nicest to talk to? Question to you, Baba Tunde.
Out of those three?
Yes, please.
I would say, okay, I'll just put it this way. Top to bottom. I would say nicest to talk to. I'd say Uganda, Kenya, and Ghana. Yeah. So top to bottom.
Okay. Uganda, Kenya. So you're saying top is Uganda?
Yeah, top is Uganda, Kenya, then Ghana. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome, bro. Fantastic. Awesome. All right, brothers, call in, man. All right, call in. So I'm gonna give you a 5-10 minutes to call in. If no callers, I'm going to end the stream. And may you all have a great weekend. Brother, do you have a cold?
Yeah, I think I'm catching a cold. I think I'm
Sorry
catching
to
a
hear that,
cold.
bro.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So if no one calls
Yeah.
in, Baba, we'll end it early so you can get some rest, man.
Yeah, the weather's changing over here. We're moving closer to winter. We're in autumn now.
Oh, it gets cold in the land of kangaroos.
It does get colder in winter, I think. Maybe not as cold as Europe, but it does get cold, yeah.
Ah, interesting. All right. So while I wait for a caller, brother, the links is pinned in the live stream chat. There it is. I got a question for you, bro. So let me see what's on my list here. Okay, so I've asked that. Let me see. Brother, did you come across rich women, brother, in those countries, brother?
Oof, nah, not really happy. But it depends on the sort of, if you're moving, I don't know. In Africa, most rich women are married women, to be honest.
The what?
Like, are married women, like they're
Mm,
married. Yeah.
mm.
So the chances that you might meet a rich lady who is under 30 might be, you know, I'm not saying they're not there, but I think yeah, I think you would find most rich ladies above 30 or married. Yeah.
Okay.
But you could
Should,
definitely find like hardworking, career driven women that have good substance below 30. You can find them in those countries. But yeah.
okay. And brother, age gap. So can can a brother that who's 38 date woman 21, 20, 22, you know, in those countries, brother?
The older you are, the better IP. No, really, it is Africa, man. So that's not a there's no issue with that at all. The women that actually even want older guys, you know, they don't date younger or guys within their age range. They want older guys because the more older you are, the more chances that you're settled, like you're more successful. You know,
Amazing.
so it's very common in Africa, most African countries that older men date younger women. It's very common. It's nothing. It's not abnormal at all.
And brother, you saw it yourself, brother, in real time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's how it should be, bro. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Um,
No, absolutely. That's how it should be. Yeah.
'cause obviously, brother, as men, Miss International, Dark Ronnie, can you turn your cameras on in the background so I know you're not trolls? Obviously, brother, as men, right? You confirmed Dark Ronnie, thank you, bro. Turn your camera off. So obviously, as men, brother, we have to gain our value. That's how we go to school. We invest in ourselves, etc., etc. We put in work, like what I'm doing, like what you're doing, brother. But women are born with value, brother. And that's their beauty. You know. So as men, as we grow older, wiser, and build our value up, we become more attractive to women in their prime years, right? Which is 20, 21, etc., etc. So that's why men have to go after younger women. I hate seeing dudes that are 35 dating chicks that are 45. Don't do that, please. All right. Date chicks that are 24, 23, 22. So let me ask this question, brother, right? Should brothers travel alone or in a group, brother, to those three countries? If so, tell us why. If not, tell us why, in your opinion.
You can travel alone. IP. It's safe. It's safe to go to Ghana. It's safe to go to Uganda. It's safe to Kenya. In Ghana, I was with a friend. So and I also had a friend there. So it was a good experience while I was there because I had like a group people that I knew. But in Uganda and Kenya, I was there alone and I didn't have any problems. You know, I didn't have any problems at all. In
Awesome.
Uganda, I had a friend who has a friend there. So when I got there, I met up with a guy, but it didn't really do much for me. I didn't really need him, because you know I just had a good time being by myself, and I had already met people or know people there. So it was good. I really had fun in each of those countries. Yeah.
Awesome. Fantastic. Fantastic. So I got called a Miss International, but if that's who you are, brother, can you turn your camera on in the background that so you're not a troll and you are the brother that is a legend in this channel, Hall of Fame member from back in the day. Let me bring in Doug Ronan in the background. He's confirmed. Thank you, brother. Let me bring you in the background. What is going on, Mr. Dark Ronan? How you doing, brother?
Hello, brothers. How you guys doing?
I'm doing fine. Miss International, can you turn your camera on in the background, please, brother? If you can't do that, brother, I can't bring you in. Finally, Miss Ronan. How you doing, brother? You good?
Yep. Just had a call in for my birthday, so calling in for you guys to
Ah,
check it out.
happy birthday, Dart Ronan. Everyone in the live stream chat, can we please say happy birthday to our mod, Dart Ronan? He puts in work for the channel, for the whole international passport ecosystem, from the Discord, from the the Reddit page, from the streams here as well. Patreon, he supports. Please, everyone in the live stream chat, say happy birthday to Dark Ronin. He is the mod of this channel and the international passport ecosystem. So please wish him some good wishes. Happy birthday, bro.
Appreciate all the love, bro. Appreciate all the love.
Fire away, brother, if you have any questions.
Okay, so let's see. So the first question I have is that let's see, which of the females is more open minded, more how can I say, are also open minded to polygamy too? Which group of females?
I think you'll find more of that in Uganda. I
Okay, okay.
think I think Uganda women are more open-minded and more open to polygamy as well. Yeah. I think Uganda over Kenya or Ghana. Yeah. And also it depends if she's Muslim as well. It depends on the religion. But I think you'll find more of that in Uganda. Yeah.
Okay.
Or the chances of that in Uganda. I think Uganda women are more agreeable, to be honest, than those two. Yeah.
Okay, so which group of females they're the most clingiest, more jealous, like they're very jealous. Like which ones you
Oof.
think is
I think if women like you, they tend to be jealous. So I wouldn't really say the specific type, specific nationality. I think usually if women like you, it doesn't really matter. I like my experiences though with women, and I've had a lot of experiences with women from everywhere. So I think that's a function of how they like you. Kenyan women seem very hardcore. So look, if women are clinging to you, it's because they like you, to be honest. Um, so I really wouldn't say it's a function of where they're from. I think it's just it depends on how much they like you. Yeah.
okay. So what like places, events, you can like approach these females? Like what are the best places to approach them?
So in Kenya, there's a lot of places that you can go to. They have like a lot of restaurants, a lot of lounges. They have like parks. They have like festivals and all of that. So I think those are the sort of places that you want to be at. Like like not necessarily clubs, but like lounges, like a bar. Like a nice bar somewhere in the city. You know, or like a cafe or like a because I remember when I was in Kenya the first when I was in Nairobi, I went to this cafe and I saw these two like decent looking females, right? They were just having like like a cafe date or something. You see, so those are the sort of places that you want to be at, places like that, cafes, bars, restaurants. Women most times do come to those places with like a friend, you see. But in the clubs, it's nah, you don't really want to be looking for women in a club except you're just looking for something short term. You understand? So I
Mm-hmm.
would say it cuts across those three countries as well. So places like malls, there's a lot of the retail sector in Kenya is really big. So you see there's a lot of malls, shopping centers, places like that. Yeah, yeah. I like Kenya. It's decent, honestly. So you would find women in such places. Yeah.
Sorry, hold on there, don't run in. So someone said that a lot of Nigerians go to Uganda for their woman. Is that true, Babatunde? Is that what you saw out there?
I didn't see that a lot of that, but I wouldn't be surprised honestly. But the women in Uganda are good, honestly. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. Like honestly, like if you're a foreigner, like if you're African American or you're Black British, I think those countries I think they're better for women than Nigeria, to be honest. I think Nigeria is good for business, business. Yeah, but if you're looking for women, like for a woman, I think Uganda women are cool. Yeah, I think Uganda, Kenya. For me, top of the list is Ethiopia, but definitely, yeah, for me, you know. But you definitely find good women in Uganda, Ghana, and Kenya. That's for sure.
I got another super chat. Shout out to Mr. Brother. I can't wait for this for the Nigeria stream, bro. Nigeria must be doing pretty bad right now for you to be speaking like this, brother. This is insane. Wow.
Nah, the dating scene out there is crazy, man. There is. Look, it's not like it's that bad, but you need to be there long enough in Nigeria. Like you can't meet a girl online and it's all yeah. Nah, you need to be in Nigeria for quite some time. And even if you're in Nigeria, you want to avoid places like Lagos, like all the big cities, like maybe the interior, right?
Mm.
There are good women in Nigeria, but you need to be there. You know, even the same with Kenya as well. I don't advise brothers to pick up chicks like on the internet, and that can happen. But I reckon but Kenya's actually, if you're working remotely, go to Kenya. Like it's a good spot. The high tea infrastructure there is superb. Like it's really nice. So if you have the skill set or the opportunity to work remotely and you're looking for like an African woman, pack your bags and go to Kenya and go stay there for a while. That's my advice. The same thing in Nigeria. However, if I was like, if I was in, because I'm African, right? But if I was an African, if I was like from a black man from the US or the UK or Europe, I wouldn't necessarily go to Nigeria for a woman. Like I would go to like no, I mean like I would say it's better if you go to those countries, Ghana, Kenya or Uganda or Ethiopia or Rwanda, those places. For me personally, yeah.
Awesome, bro. Shout out to Guy for the support. Thank you, Guy, for the super chat. He says here, how would a 33-year-old Caucasian dude do? Solo traveler and fit, nice head of hair. Fire away, Babatunde, in your opinion.
We have no issues going to Africa, man. I saw older guys in Africa, Caucasian dudes. I told you about the guy that I saw was like, I think that guy should be in his 50s, that I saw at my hotel in Mombasa. He was there lounging, had this, cocoa looking chick on his, yeah. So it doesn't matter where you're from, to be honest. It doesn't matter your race, your color. You would have a good time in Africa if you got money. That's just what it is. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So, Mr. Don Ronnie, do you have any more questions for the guest? Birthday man, Don Ronnie, you there?
Muted. Oh, I'm muted. My bad.
Mm.
Let's see. So I heard. I don't know if you guys went through this before, but I heard that Kenya, Nairobi, you shouldn't wife up any chicks in Nairobi. Is that right?
In Nairobi?
Yeah.
You know what? Like Happy was saying, he was probably saying like I've said a lot of negative stuff about Nigeria. Nigeria is very similar to Kenya too. Like all of the countries that I went to, I think Nigeria and I think the country that was the most similar to Nigeria is Kenya. So the life in Nairobi is very similar to what you would get in Lagos. It's just that Lagos is more extreme, you see. So in Nairobi, the women there are just like women you will find in every other city in the world, right? There's high, they have high body counts. The promiscuity there is very high. They're very driven by materialism and things like that. You'll find a lot of that in Kenya. However, you will still find decent women, you see, and that's why you need to be there. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to go to those places, you need to actually be on the ground, foot on the ground, and explore. Stay there for a while. 3 months, 6 months, stay there, enjoy the scene. I think there's this brother, Hostin Halaman, is that his name? Is a YouTuber. He was in
Yeah.
Kenya for a while, and you can see his experiences in Kenya. It was with very beautiful women. I think the prettiest women that were in his African videos were actually in Kenya. You see, so there's a lot of beautiful women in Kenya, man. That's a fact. However, there is a lot of 3 or 4ism as well going on in Kenya. It's very similar to Nigeria, but I just think Nigeria is a bit more extreme, especially Lagos. So there's a lot of that going on in Kenya, in Nairobi. So you need to be there long enough. However, if you want to go to Kenya and you're looking for more traditional women, you go to Mombasa. It's just that Nairobi is more fun, and there's better infrastructure in Nairobi compared to Mombasa. So it depends on what you're looking for.
Okay. So the last question I have here, for the brothers who are curious, who has the biggest bum?
It's Uganda. It's Uganda.
Damn.
I'll put it top to bottom. I'll say Uganda, Ghana, and Kenya. Yeah. Kenya comes, unfortunately, Kenya comes the very least on that, yeah, on that particular ranking.
Yeah, because I heard that in Uganda they come in herds.
Man, bro, like nah. It's unreal what is out there, Uganda, bro. It's unreal. It's unreal, man. Ghana to be packing, man. Women in Ghana to be packing, honestly. But what I saw in Uganda is just it's not normal. Nah, it's not normal, man. So yeah, I'll say Uganda on that list. Definitely number one.
Awesome. Hey, you're a joker. This guy, bro. Hey, shout out to birthday boy, Dart Ronin. I hope you have a great day, brother, ahead. So, Mr. Babatunde, thank you, brother, for your time for this incredible live stream, brother. Do you have any closing statements before I let you go, bro?
So what I would say is that just to clarify what you said, IP. So Nigeria is not as bad as people think it is, or it's not as bad as It's just that in Nigeria, if you're looking for a woman, like a chick, what I would suggest is that you go there and you stay there for quite a reasonable amount of time. However, especially Lagos, women there are very. If you're looking for a wife, man, you need to stay there for. So what Nigeria is known for mostly is entertainment and business. So if that's your thing and you want to invest in Africa or whatever, Nigeria is the spot for you. However, I think if you're looking for women, I think East Africa will get you better value. That's just my take. So out of the countries that I mentioned today, that we spoke about today, I would say Ghana, Kenya is definitely, if you're working remotely, if you're looking for a good standard of living, quality infrastructure, all those things, I think you'll find more of that in Kenya. Uganda also is good, and Ghana also is good. But my number one pick will be Kenya. That's my from my experience while I was there. So go to
Awesome.
Africa if you can. It's a good vibe. And yeah, just be safe while you're there.
So, last question for you, brother. Shout out to Guy, and I'll bring in Dark Ronin in the background. If he has any last question, he says here, best bang for your buck, gotta goes father. So, which one do you understand that, brother?
No.
Sorry, so best bang for your buck. So, dollar goes father. So, which one? So, yeah, he has American
Oh
dollars.
no. I'll say
Which
you
one
got.
goes father?
I'll say Uganda. Uganda definitely. Uganda is the cheapest.
Okay, awesome.
Uganda, but there's more to do in Kenya. You see, that's the thing. But your dollar
Awesome.
goes further in Uganda. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Ronin, do you have any last question before we let Babatunde go?
Yes, sir. So my final question is important. Okay. Um, do you see weaves, wigs, or they wear the natural hair?
They do wear a lot of weaves. I won't lie. In Kenya, they do wear a lot of weaves. Um, I don't know. There's this crazy. There's this what's the word? This obsession with weave with an African women. I don't know what it is. So they do wear a lot of weaves. I think I think places where they don't wear women don't wear a lot of weaves. I would say maybe South Africa. A lot of women, wear their natural hair, places like that, and maybe Ethiopia. Women there too wear their natural hair, but they do like weaves there as well. You know, they do like weaves there as well. So I don't know what it is with African women and weaves, but you will definitely see a lot of weaves in those countries. But it is what it is, man. Um, as long as you're happy doing that, no, I don't have a problem, to be honest. But they do wear weaves, yeah.
Okay. Awesome, Babatunde. Thank you for your time, brother. Much appreciated, bro. Feel free to drop it. Feel free to drop up anytime you want to, brother.
Yeah.
Obviously we'll have you again in the future, brother. Much appreciated, bro.
No worries, happy.
Thank you, bro. Mr. Ronin, it's your birthday, brother. You want to say anything on your birthday, DR, before I wrap up the stream?
Happy birthday to myself. Your brother strive for greatness. Get into IT, finding type of way to travel overseas, remote. Invest into crypto stocks, whatever. Yeah, man, just do your research on these countries, learn the laws, everything like that. Then you should be good. So yeah, this movement has potential to be a fantastic movement. So we just gotta keep lock in, get our passports and set on new horizons.
Yes, indeed, brother. Before you go, brother, obviously crypto market has been kind of a slight dip, or in the past couple of days, brother. So what coins are you looking to get, brother? What have you doubled down on? Break it down for us, brother.
Okay, so I would say, brothers, my recommendation, brothers should get into Gala. Um, I will say, let's see, Algorand, Algorand too. I think brothers should put the money into Algorand. Um, let's see, V Chain, yeah, V Chain is a good one. Even Harmony. There's a few other coins I can think of. As far as like meme coin goes, still doing a little bit of research in that. But if the big ones, I would say you should invest into Shiba, um, all those ones. Um, and then there's a coin, but I'm gonna post that on the Discord for brothers that I mentioned before. That right now you can buy, actually, for brothers can buy right now. So that's the good news.
Awesome. Thank you, brother. Thank you. And any meme coins, like the typical ones, Pepe, Bonk, that you might get doubled down on now with Dog with Hat, or should we leave these meme coins alone? What's your point?
I still think that we should invest into meme coins, like the ones that like Boink. I think Boink you should put your money into, even I think the Pepe coin, yeah, Pepe coin, Dogecoin, those coins you should get into. So yeah, I think you should invest some money into those. Lock in, just make sure it's in a secure wallet, and you should be good.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. All right, I'm gonna wrap up, man. Thank you, DR. Happy birthday again. Once again, brother. Have a fantastic day, brother.
Yes, sir.
Brothers, shout to Babatunde for the support. IP, can you write that in the chat? Can you write in the chat quickly, brother? Those coins you mentioned, or what you mentioned lastly, brother, in the live stream chat.
Okay.
All right, okay. I'll give you a minute, bro, before I end the stream. All right, brothers. Once again, yeah. Follow me on Twitch. Okay. Actually, do you know what? Go on my link tree. Okay. Go on my link tree and follow me on every single platform on my link tree. Okay. The power is in your hands, young Anakin. Okay. Here's my link tree. Go and follow me on the platform, on each platform, Kick, Twitch. I'm setting up my streaming equipment. I'm upgrading, right? I want to start streaming heavily on Twitch and Kick and Rumble, where I can speak that real talk there about Black culture, world affairs, traveling, woman. So make sure you follow me on Twitch, Kick, and Rumble, please. I would say create an account on all three and get on there, bruv. Get on there. All right. I need to diversify from YouTube, so I need to start going to other platforms. So I need you brothers to support me on those other platforms too. I've been on YouTube for almost 10 years. So please support. All right. Please support. Okay. Please support. And here's my Rumble, man. Just get on there, support, share my content, get other brothers involved, man. This movement, this movement, is gonna take off, man, big, heavy. All right. And I hope this channel continues to prosper and help save brothers. Mr. What's going on here? That's cool. I thought I had that. No, F it. Right. Thank you, Mr. Ronin. Shout out to our guest. Let me check the PayPal one more time, just in case. Shout out to all the brothers here at the super chat. Much appreciated for the support. I got another country tomorrow. It's I'll give you a clue. It's a familiar country, but of course, it's gonna be a banger. Okay, it's gonna be a classic. And brothers, I'm getting tired, brothers. I think I might have to take a holiday because I've been streaming non-stop this past 2 weeks.
Yeah, you deserve it, man.
Yeah, bro. I need a break, man. I'm tired, brother. I need to recharge. Gotta recharge, bro. DR, thank you, bro. Happy birthday. Brothers, salute, and I'll see you brothers tomorrow. Take it easy, brothers. Peace.